Anyway, this is the intro to what is it called? Yellow Ledbetter by Pearl Jam. Can't think this morning. And I just learned it, so I'm a little bit sloppy on it, but I learned it enough to be able to teach it. And this is by special request. A guy named Joe paid me 25 bucks to do a 10-minute video on it, so I'm going to show you guys the intro. And if anybody would like to get lessons on DVD, any of my YouTube lessons on DVD, or my DVD box set, or if you'd like to hire me for a request on a video, on anything, on a solo, whatever, as long as it's not speed metal, can't stand that stuff. But anything besides that, I'll do. So let's get started here. We just have several parts to it. It's not really as complicated as you might think. It sounds a lot like, you know, I hear some things from like Little Wing from Jimi Hendrix, and of course when Stevie Ray Vaughan redid it. But there's several parts, and here's the first part we're going to learn. Alright, that's part one, what I'm going to call part one. And you really need to practice it in sections like that instead of trying to play it all the way through. Practice in parts, okay? So we're going to start with open E down here. And I just have a little echo chorus effect on my amp here, just to give it a little, you know, a little something. And what I did is because, you know, there's tons of improvisation things you can do on this when you're playing it. And I listened to the live recording of it, and of course the recording on the album. And he does different stuff all through it. So what I did is I kind of combined all the different ways into one best way, maybe, instead of you know, going through every little minute detail. So I combined it into kind of one for you guys. So we're going to start with the low E, and we're going to go open, 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 bum, bum, bum. And with my pick, I'm going to go down, down, up. Or you can go down, down, down. Doesn't matter. I guess down, down, down is what I did. So, and then after that, down, down, down. So it's a long, short, short, ba, ba, ba. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to flatten out my first finger, flatten out my pointer finger, and I'm going to place it on the 9th fret. Okay. Now the 9th fret is the dot before the two dots. So I'm right here, and I'm going to flatten it out. I'm going to press down the A string and the D string together with one finger. Then I'm going to pick that. It's my pick. I'm going to pick the A and the D string together. Okay? And then after that, I'm going to put down my ring finger, and I'm going to hammer down on the A string on 11. So they still ring, but I make that second note by doing my ring finger there on the 11th fret. Now I want the D string to keep ringing, so I make sure not to mute that by accident with that ring finger when I do that. So here's the beginning, or here's part one. Actually, we're not done with part one, but bum, bum, bum. And the next thing I'm going to do is this. And that is, I'm going to bar the same thing in fret 9, but I'm going to bar the D and the G string. And then I'm going to pick both of them with my pick. Give a little vibrato there. So I have, real slowly, part one. Bum, bum, bum. Again, listen to it. Alright, now the next thing on part two is going to sound like this. Like that. Again. Alright, so what I'm going to do there is I'm going to have fret 11 on the A string. So 11 here with my ring finger. Then I'm going to go back to fret 9. I'm going to bar again with that first finger, flatten it out, but this time it's going to be the G and the B string. Okay? So flatten it out, and then I'm going to, after I pick the G and the B string here, I'm going to bring down that ring finger on fret 11 on the G string, and then I'm going to lift it back up for a pull-off. So I pick once, but I do three things. 1, 2, 3. And then after that, I'm going to have the D string on 11 here, and I'm going to pick it, and then just kind of slide it down a little bit, like that after I pick it. Alright, so let me do part one and part two together. Here we go. Alright, now here's the next part. This is tough. So if you have trouble, give yourself some time and don't, you know, just do your best with it. Take your thumb, and on fret 5, pick fret 5 on the low E and slide it up to 7. Like that. And then after that, after I'm holding that, then I'm going to press down the high E and the B string with my first finger here, my pointer, press them both down, bar it, And then I'm also going to have my ring finger here on fret 9. Okay, so I have 2 strings down here with this finger and 1 string, the high E here. And I'm going to pick it, and then I'm going to lift that ring finger up. Okay, so I have, and then like that. Now we got to continue because we're going to run out of time here, so let's go ahead. After I do that, I'm going to keep this thumb down because I want that bass note to keep going. But I'm going to take my ring finger, put it on the D string on 9, middle finger on 8 on the G string, and 7th fret for the first finger, pointer finger, on the B string. That gives me a chord. Those 3 strings when I pick them with my pick here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hammer down that pinky on the G string on 9 after I pick them all 3. Then I'm going to lift it back up. So sometimes you'll have it down, sometimes you'll have it up. And here's the strumming pattern. Okay, so pick, hammer, and then upstroke, and then pick down, lift up, and then up, down. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we have, sorry about that. Now for the next part, I'm going to do the same exact thing, but I'm going to do it 2 frets lower. I'm going to do it on fret 5. So just slide to the left 2 frets and do the same thing. Okay, same exact thing. See, my fingers are all in the same place. I'm just 2 frets that way. And I've got to go here because it's hard to do. If you're having trouble with that, you can do it as a bar chord like this and go. Okay, it'll work that way too if you can't get your thumb around. So if you know bar chords, you can do it that way. But I'm showing you the way the guitarist does it for Pearl Jam. Now, here's the next part. Let's see. Oh, you just do open E, I think. Yeah. So you just go and slide it down right at the end. Then open E, and then he waits, and then he goes. All right. I heard him do that once. So, or what I'm doing there is I'm barring on 12 on the high E and the B. And I'm picking it, and then I'm hammering down with that ring finger on fret 14 to get both of them, and then I'm letting it up and then picking 12 again, 12s, and then I'm doing fret 13 with the G string here, and then start all over. Now, the cool thing you do is you have a little place there at the end to do some kind of solo or something different every time that you want to do. That's really cool. Let me show you that. So from the beginning we have part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, and then part 5. And then we have this, but instead of doing that, you can also do this. You can, see. So if you know a pentatonic scale, you can do a pentatonic here and do whatever you want to at the end. And that's just going to be 9/11 on the A, 9/11 on the D, 9/11 on the G. And just do whatever you want. At the end of that, you can go. It's hard. And I'm going to have to stop here because 10 minutes. We're up. You can also do an E minor scale too if you know an E minor blues scale. That's kind of cool in there. So there's the intro. Email me if you'd like to have any special requests done, and hope you guys enjoy it.